the trade deadline is now over, and we did not get 2 edge rushers like I wanted. However, Zadarius Smith is a Detroit Lion, but in my opinion, that is not quite enough. I would have liked to have 2 more pieces on the defensive line, specifically a defensive end. Now, somebody just became available today. However, the Lions also announced a roster move, so we'll go over this first. You've probably seen it by now. Lions Twitter account. Lions have waived wide receiver Isaiah Williams. Now, Isaiah Williams, UDFA, coming from Illinois. Very good in college, very good kick returner, punt returner. Showed that in the preseason as well, and also showed some potential at receiver. He made the 53-man roster, was inactive for, I believe, the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, played the past 2, had 2 catches 2 weeks ago for 6 yards. And this is kind of unfortunate, I'm not going to lie, because I did expect Isaiah Williams to be our full-time kick returner now. And if Raymond ever went down with an injury again, like he did in the playoffs last year, then Isaiah Williams would be definitely feel comfortable with him stepping in to replace Raymond in the punt return role. So this is a little bit unfortunate. I did not expect this whatsoever. So we only have 2 tight ends on the 53-man roster. Now we only have 5 receivers. So we're down 2 pass catchers on the roster now. So now Isaiah Williams, if he passes through waivers, will most likely return to the practice squad. We do not have a spot open currently on the practice squad. The Lions re-signed yesterday, I believe, Chris Smith and Abraham Beauplan to the practice squad, and they also signed a new linebacker to the practice squad. I think it's Ezekiel Turner is his name. Doesn't have much profile on him. Former UDFA. Really hasn't done much in the NFL. He's played a lot of seasons. He's like 28 years old. I'm pretty sure he played every game but one last season. He's definitely just going to be a special teamer. Jalen Reeves-Maben and Malcolm Rodriguez have not practiced at all this week. So it looks like both of them will not be playing. So I expect Beauplan and potentially the newcomer Ezekiel Turner to be elevated. For sure, Beauplan. So that is very interesting that Isaiah Williams has been waived. Now, we have a roster spot open on the 53-man roster, and this was the news that came out today. And when this came out, I absolutely lost my mind because, in a good way, And that is, let me get it pulled up here, here it is. According to Adam Schefter, Ravens are waiving defensive end Yannick Ngakoue per source. The Ravens want to re-sign him to the practice squad if he clears waivers. He meant to put if, I think, there instead of should. So, Yannick Ngakoue is a free agent now. Now, since the trade deadline is over, everybody that is now released from here on out has to be waived. No players can no longer just be released, no matter how old you are, no matter how many years you've been in the league. They have to be waived. So, say, who's the oldest player in the NFL? Say Jason Peters got waived or released. He would have to be waived, even though or a better example is Greg Zuerlein, for example. Jason Peters is on a practice squad. Greg Zuerlein, if he was to be released because of his kicking struggles, he would have to be waived, even though he's almost 40 years old, because after the trade deadline, this way more teams have a shot to get him, like sucky teams and stuff like that, like the Panthers, Raiders, Browns. So, but Yannick Ngakoue is now a free agent now. How the waiver wire works, the Detroit Lions are 31, so the second from last, and the waiver wire. And I believe the Patriots are number 1 in the waiver wire right now. I believe they have the number 1 overall pick at this current moment, so they are the number 1 overall. They have the number 1 overall spot in the waiver wire right now. And from what I thought it was before, I think they changed the rule on this. So, say for example, the Lions back in 2021, when we claimed Josh Reynolds, we had the number 1 spot in the waiver wire. We claimed Josh Reynolds. I'm pretty sure then immediately we went down to the 32nd spot in the waiver wire, which is last. And we would just have to keep making our way up. We'd have the dead last spot in the waiver wire from the next person we would decide to claim. And I thought that's how it was before. That's how it is with fantasy football and stuff. Evidently, that is not the case anymore. Now, it could totally be wrong. It's always been this way. But now, it is based off your record completely. So, Now, no matter where we're at in the waiver wire, so the Panthers can claim, or the Patriots can claim as many players they want, and they will still have the number one spot in the waiver wire. They will no longer automatically go to the 32nd spot in the waiver wire. So I just want to put that out there for people thinking we can move up in the waiver wire. The only way we can move up in the waiver wire is if we start losing games, and obviously we don't want that to happen. It's rare that you're going to claim somebody of significant value. So, and Yannick Ngakoue could be that. So if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm 100% bringing in Yannick Ngakoue. All I ask is for Brad to put in a waiver claim for him. I don't expect to get him just because I don't think he's going to make it that far through waivers. Falcons need an edge rusher. There's always some other teams that could use some depth. So I really do think he could go back to the Bears. So I don't see Yannick Ngakoue passing through waivers or going to our spot. There's no way the Ravens are going to be able to get him back to the practice squad. You cannot claim a player and put him on the practice squad. They have to be put on the 53-man roster. Now, he will be claimed or passed through waivers around 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So we should get that news around 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, who claimed him. So we'll get that news, or if you cleared waivers. Now, I want to hear your thoughts, comments down below. Do you think we should bring in Yannick Ngakoue, or do you think we should stick with we have Muhammad and Houston, all of that? This is where I'm at with the pass rush. Is it better? Absolutely. Does it have the chance to be really good and we don't need Yannick Ngakoue? Absolutely. Does it have the chance to suck? Absolutely. So, Yannick Ngakoue, just bring him in. He's by far now the best defensive end available. He's 10 times better than Shaq Lawson, 10 times better than Bruce Irvin, 10 times better than Jason Pierre-Paul, 10 times better than Justin Houston. So, I want to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think the Lions should put in a waiver claim for him? I absolutely believe it will. And do I think Isaiah Williams was the right choice waiving him? No, I do not, because I think there were some other players that could have been waived that have a better chance of passing through waivers. You can put them back in the practice squad. Example, Colby Sorsdahl, Michael Neese, or even Lawrence Strickland. So I think they could have waived one of those three guys instead that would have probably passed through waivers guaranteed. Isaiah Williams, in my opinion, Isaiah Williams honestly probably has a better chance of going through waivers than Yannick Ngakoue, or getting claimed than Yannick Ngakoue because of age and because of potential talent. You know what you're getting in Yannick Ngakoue. You don't necessarily know what you're getting in Isaiah Williams yet. So a terrible team like the Panthers, for example, they now need a receiver. They just traded Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo. So now the two receivers is Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette. They have nobody else besides that, so they could claim a guy like Isaiah Williams, get some young talent in there, because Adam Thielen's probably going to retire after this year. Get some young talent to go with Xavier Legette and get some potential. So I would say there's a better chance. Like, no sucky team is going to claim Yannick Ngakoue. It's just not happening. Like, what would they need him for? Yannick Ngakoue would not want to go to them anyway. I'm sure he wants to play for a contender, which is the Detroit Lions. We are the best team in the NFL currently, so I don't know why he would not want to play for the Detroit Lions. So, leave your thoughts, comments down below. Brad, all I'm asking you is to put in a waiver claim for him. If you don't get him, that's fine. All I want to know is that you tried at least. One pride, go Lions. Leave your thoughts, comments down below.